speaking of making $1 billion, how about those tariffs? How about those tariffs? You know, I've been getting emails from every single American company that I've bought any sort of hardware or physical item from, all telling me, hey, if you've ever thought about buying our products, do it now because we're about to double our prices. Isn't that fucking crazy? And all of the emails are like explaining what a tariff is, which I think finally the average person understands. I think genuinely they actually thought that it was a tax on that the exporter pays, but people now have wrapped their heads around, oh fuck, that's going to make everything that I pay for more expensive. Here's the thing though, right? Here's the thing. I think that I don't know about here's what I think. The tariffs, right? The idea of bringing manufacturing back to each country is good, where it's possible. Like, putting fucking tariffs on a country that makes coffee is insane because you literally cannot make coffee in America. It won't grow. There's a certain, I don't know why, but there's a certain part of the earth that the climate is just right to make coffee beans and it just won't fucking grow anywhere else, right? I get that. Or like putting tariffs on Australia when they're like, oh, you know, we have a trade deficit with all these countries. We can't have a trade deficit. You guys have a trade surplus with Australia. You hit us with a tariff and our prime minister, all he does is like, hey, that's not what a mate does. That's not how a mate treats a mate. I'm so fucking sick of Australian politicians pretending like they're at the pub. Threaten to nuke them. That's what I say. Don't tariff me, we'll fucking nuke you. Oh, I can't stop. I need to stop saying that. I get into show mode where I'm allowed to say the naughty C word and I fucking say it on the podcast and now I have to edit this and censor it. Anyway, I got a little bit upset because that's not how a mate treats a mate. You know, Trump's going, oh, you know, we've got amazing beef. We've got amazing beef. No, you don't. All right. Your fucking cows sit in stalls being fed corn and hormones. All right. That's why every American is as fat as the fucking cows in those stalls because they're eating those diseased cows. Every single cow in Australia is grass-fed beef, free range, because we have so much fucking land that, and like we don't, why the fuck would we import American beef even if it was good? It's all the way over there. Why would you want Australian beef? It's all the way over here. You want to fucking freeze it and put it on a fucking boat and make your own and don't feed it corn. I don't want American beef, even if it was good. Because it's going to be frozen and shipped over. Fuck that. Anyway, what I thought the genius part of the tariffs was him tariffing everyone and then China hitting them with tariffs. And I think China's plan was to tariff the fuck out of the US, which would crash the stock market, which would then put pressure on the states to remove the tariff on China. Instead, Trump goes, gotcha, bitch, removes the tariffs on every other country, and then fucking triples down on tariffing China. Stock market rockets. China, fucked. They've got no other moves left, so they just raise the tariff a little bit more. It has no effect. And now China has to come to the table to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. I don't understand the master plan here. I don't know if there is one. Here's what I think. What I was getting to was, I think bringing manufacturing back to America, back to Australia, back to any country is good. And a thing that should be done where it is actually feasible and possible. Because, at least in Western nations, it ensures products are created ethically, right? No child labor, all that kind of stuff. It creates jobs and all this kind of shit. And all those things are true. I don't see, though, how it would be even remotely possible unless every administration after this Trump one also agree with it, right? Because bringing manufacturing back to a country, if it's possible at all, right, is not a 4-year process. That's like a 50-year process, right? Am I crazy? You can't just fucking build phone plants in America in 4 years. That's going to take at least like decades. Phone, cars, everything. And it's going to require billions of dollars of investment, which if I'm the CEO of Nike, right, why the fuck would I spend billions of dollars making a shoe factory when I can just wait 4 years and make less money for 4 years? Trump goes out and the next administration just executive orders everything away. And also, the unfortunate reality of the world is child labor makes it work. Like, the reason why your phone costs $1,000 and not $50,000 is because some poor fucking African is numbing their fingers to the bone, pulling out lithium from the dirt and rare metals and all this kind of shit, and then shipping it off to China so some 12-year-old can assemble the screen, cutting their fingers on the glass. Like, the world runs on child labor, and that's bad. That shouldn't happen. But I'm wondering, not to advocate for child labor here, but can you beat child labor and get rid of child labor without child labor? Do you know what I mean? Like, the reason why in the Western world, America especially, the reason why there's no slavery is because they used slavery to get to a point where they didn't need it anymore. So now they don't need it. That's why, like, it was obviously it's wrong, but you can only really abolish something once you don't really need it anymore. And every civilization was built off the back of child labor and slavery. So it's like, which is obviously wrong, I'm not advocating for it, but like let's say, thought experiment, we eliminate child labor globally and we move all manufacturing back to more privileged countries. What the fuck happens to the economies of impoverished nations that literally rely on child labor? Do they all die? I don't think they enter a golden age. Maybe the only way to beat child labor is with more child labor. That's what we need to do. We need to start getting these kids out of these fucking Minecraft showings and into some actual mines. That's what we need to do. We need to get these kids in the fucking mines. They've got too much energy, too much time on their hand. Oh, you want to throw popcorn in a cinema? How about you throw rocks into a fucking pile? I need a diamond, mate. I'm trying to make an iPhone. I'm being a bit hyperbolic here, but what I mean is, like, the whole planet runs on exploitation and child labor and exploiting the weaker person, and we are the best in the world at it, and we're so fucking good at it that not only do we employ child slaves to make everything in our homes, we also look down on the people that we are paying to do it for us and go, you guys are fucking animals because you have child slaves. Anyway, where's my $200 pair of shoes? So yeah, I don't know. I think that manufacturing should come back to countries where it's possible, especially Western nations, because we have labor laws. But that's just going to make everything like unbelievably more expensive, from cars to clothes to, like, if we took out third world manufacturing and Chinese manufacturing, to create those things ethically is cost prohibitive to just about anyone on earth. And that's the horrific reality of being a human being, is that when you live in any sort of progressive Western wealthy nation, we are allowed to be kind to one another because we're stepping on the necks of people that we have never even seen without even realizing that we're doing it. And I don't know what the solution to that is, because it seems like the only way for countries to raise themselves out of poverty is quite literally with child labor, because that's how every single country has done it in the world ever. Which is terrible. I guess the only other solution is everyone disbands their military and spends that money on raising their neighbor up. Which unfortunately would work. It's unfortunate that we don't do it. Anyway, I just think I don't see the master 4D chess plan that all the Trump supporters seem to be crossing their fingers and hoping exists. I'm not seeing any hints of it. I would love to know what people who are like true believers, like, no, this is going to work. And look, I hope it works. I would love for America to enter a golden age by moving manufacturing back. But I just don't see how that is at all possible in one president's term, because whatever he does, they're undoing it. So I guess we could cross our fingers and hope for a dictatorship and then the tariffs will work, but I'm not so sure if that's a good idea either.